Greetings and welcome into this Friday edition of ESPN FC Extra Time. A little something different for you there, Stevie. Just got so much peer pressure from you over the months and years. I had to change it up. We got Craig and Jan with us as well. Look at that fine-looking duo. Questions. First one, if Spurs don't make top four, do Kane and or Son push for a move? If so, where could they go? Let's tackle the first half of that first, Stevie. Do you think if they don't finish top four, those two should leave? Well, we talk about it a lot on this show.
I think Harry Kane should. Yeah. I mean, Harry Kane would get a game in any team on the planet, pretty much. So, does he want to stay at Spurs and be one of those recognised as, this is my only team? Or does he want to get some silverware? Listen, we'll play because we want to win things. So, absolutely, Kane should be looking to get going.
Jan, what do you think?
I agree with Stevie. I think there is not many typical number nines. I think Harry Kane has developed into a great number nine. Good reading of the game. As for Son, the partnership they made up at Tottenham is unbelievable. But when we see Tottenham at the moment, this is more or less the place strikers go to die at the moment, because you have to attack to get chances. You have to attack to get goals, and I feel sorry for them at the moment because not much going forward. Harry Kane, I would take to any club. I agree, you need that big number nine, and he is that plus some extra stuff.
Craig, if you're Kane or Son, is it more important to you whether you finish top four and you get Champions League, or whether Jose Mourinho leaves?
I think the latter. But because, although Harry Kane's been, up until his injury, has been instrumental in the way they've played, it's not ideal, is it? And let's be honest, they were ranked rotten again yesterday. They were rotten against Brighton in the last outing. Things are starting to turn south. And he needs to get out of there now, because he's coming into his late 20s. He's going to have to make that move. And there's going to be and he's going down the pecking order, because there's going to be a right bun fight for Erling Haaland, right? And if I was any club out there, that would be my first port of call. Not just for talent, but for longevity, because of his age. And so Harry Kane has to be mindful that there are others out there now who other clubs are going to be interested in. So it's pretty much, I think, now or never for him.
Manchester City with either Haaland or Kane leading that attack? Yikes. Why is it so important when discussing Spurs to mention that they used to play a certain attacking style? Why does Mourinho get extra stick? Because he sets out his team in a different style than how they played a decade ago.
What do you mean, boring?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to say there with so many words.
There's your answer. Do you want to watch a team that tries to go forward, tries to create, gives you something to get off your seat about, and cheer you up with some chances and some goals? Or do you want to win 1-0 and be stuck at the edge of your own box, watching your defenders blocking shots and making last-ditch tackles?
Yeah,
I don't know which one I would prefer.
It's not just like how they play, right? It's how they play given the talent they have that has to be the
you're basically doubling up. You're correct. You're doubling up. It's one thing to be Sam Allardyce and go to West Brom and try and scrap and fight your way out and defend and hopefully do teams on the break. But when you've got people like Harry Kane and Heung-Min Son and you don't get the ball to them, I mean, that's criminal.
Next question, Chelsea focus. Why has Marcos Alonso been starting over Ben Chilwell in Chelsea's last few matches? How crazy is it that Alonso, who hadn't been in a Premier League squad since September, is now starting over a big money signing? Craig, it has been one of the more noticeable changes of the Tuchel era.
Yeah, and I think one part of it is down to the system change. Alonso has been successful at Chelsea as a wing back. Azpilicueta has had his best season as a right-sided centre-back. So that probably came as a bigger surprise to Ben Chilwell than it did to many of us. But he's nailed his colours to the mast at the moment. I think, Chilwell's got the athleticism to play a wing back as well and get up and down. But I think maybe he's looking at Alonso in the final third with a little bit more composure and a little less defensive issues that he has to deal with because of the system they're playing in. that can be the only reason that somebody comes in out of the wilderness like Marcos Alonso has.
Jan, the next question is for all three of you, but I'll start with you. Can you describe the mentality aspect of playing that's necessary to make a great comeback? I wonder, what's the greatest comeback you've been a part of?
Well, have I been ever to any comeback? I think I've just lost so many games. but I've had some comebacks, but I think that the main thing is that we have been talking about the culture and mentality at the club. We have talked about Bayern Munich always coming back. Is that belief that you can come back when you are a weaker team? If you go 1 or 2-0 down, you more or less give up. And I think that's why you will see the great comebacks is also great teams that do that, because it's all a confidence matter. And sometimes, and I say that often when we discuss football, is that we sometimes forget that these players, they are not robots. These are players, human beings that need their confidence. And you can see that in games. You can see which teams are going down when they are struggling. As we were talking about Tottenham, you see when they get 1-0 down, they think, well, we don't have another plan. Our plan was to have 0-0 or maybe grab one. And so I think that is the mentality for comebacks. And as I played for some weaker teams, I can't come up with any. Stevie would probably have made some fantastic comebacks, right?
Yeah, Stevie, we were talking about this before. You couldn't actually think of any. You found one from the other side, though.
Yeah, we were 4-0 up against Leeds United at Elland Road. Back, 87, something like that?
You remember it better than I do.
Aye. Oh, I remember it because I remember the crowd was going absolutely bananas when they actually started. We went out at half-time, 4-0 up, and everybody in general kind of just took it down a level, which was a big mistake, which of course the coaches before we left the dressing room said, start the way we finished and don't drop a level, but we did. Anyway, we get out and the crowd are singing, always look on the bright side of life. Because they were 4-0 down, we were annihilating the team and they were just going to enjoy themselves. But then after about 10 minutes the second half, they scored one, and then they scored another straight after, and then another, and all of a sudden it was 4-3, and the place was going bananas. And they just kept singing this song the whole way through, interspersed with cheers for the goals going in. But fortunately we got a goal, went 5-3 up. They got one to make it 5-4 with like 7 minutes to go. I'll tell you, that was a hairy 7 minutes, but wow, what an atmosphere.
Craig, any great comebacks you can recall?
Not many, but the one that I can recall was with Jim Smith at Derby in the relegation season. I think it was March or April, so down to the business end of the season. And we went to Bradford City, managed by Paul Jewell. And we went 2-0 up in the first half. And then Dean Windass started banging them in from everywhere. And Rory Delap got himself sent off for something pretty soft. So we're down to 10 men. We went behind from 2-0 to 3-2. I can't remember exactly, but we might have went 4-2 down, a man down, and we came back. And I think the end was we managed to get a 4-4 out of it and get a point out of it. So yeah, that was one that I can remember, particularly because Rory was sent off after I think like 25 or 30 minutes.
I got one, Seb. I got one, Seb, from the weak side of life. When we were up. When we were up with Premier League with Swindon, we loved to attack. We were a bit naive. We're losing 7-1 at Newcastle, losing 5 to Liverpool, 5 to Southampton. And then we played Everton in January. This is into the Premier League season. We were 2-0 down, and we came back to 2-2 Swindon Town at Goodison Park, and we felt so good. 20 minutes to go, kept attacking, lost 6-2. So I think that just sums up my comeback history in English football.
So those who've been paying attention to the show for the last few days know that there was a pretty big promise made. I don't know if it was on this desk, one of the other studios. Craig was going to grow out his beard for months, apparently.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Craig, if you do in fact grow out your beard, why not? Look, he's doing it now. It's coming.
You having a laugh?
Craig, here's the question. If you do in fact grow out your beard, which you are obviously continuing, do you think you can achieve Nuno's length and shape of facial hair? The Wolves manager.
What's his shape? I don't pay attention to that.
Just a big, bushy beard.
There's no way Cheryl's going to go near him if he grows a big dark beard.
Really? Beards are very much the style now, Stevie.
I've got news
for you.
Hey, I've got news for you. She doesn't come near me anyway.
Well, I understand that, but
Don't worry about that. That's not a problem.
But what's the story, Craig, with that beard? Because I missed out on that. Will you keep it till you get right? Manchester United are bad?
He's got a rash. I bet he's got a rash or something.
Till only wins the Premier League.
Yeah, we'll all win the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm growing an anticipation of having to go in disguise, Jan, if Solskjaer pulls it off. So
I will always find you. I will always find you.
Oh, man.
Coming down here. Lassie's false nose.
Both of them have a little bit of beard going. You and me, though?
Clean.
Yeah.
Clean cut.
Clean cut. Modern look. It's more modern look.
That's stylish, isn't it?
Yeah. What would you know about style? They said famously.
Absolutely nothing.
All right, we'll leave the style talk there. Plenty more extra time for you. Tomorrow, Dan Thomas is back in the driver's chair. Don't miss tomorrow's edition of ESPN FC. So much good football this weekend.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.